very warm good morning and a very warm welcome to all the speakers, delegates, and partners here. Today, we are going to organize this conference, this webinar on the topic Emerging Technologies in Healthcare, Managing Risks in the Age of AI and IoT. This program is brought to you by Elets Technomedia in industry partnership with Dell Healthcare. For the past over 20 years, Elets has been in the business of creating a knowledge-empowered society through publications of magazines, through publication of online portals, and also through knowledge-sharing platforms. Elets has got four business verticals: governance, banking, health, and education. And the health education is one of the pioneering verticals of Elets Technomedia, which focuses on promotion of ICT-based tools and technologies for advancement of healthcare. The role of technology in today's modern healthcare cannot be overemphasized. We all have seen in the past 3 years what a tectonic shift, or what a tectonic movement all of us saw when the pandemic broke in. And at that time, the role of technology came in handy, and we all saw how technology helped us in steering that crisis of a gigantic scale. And if I talk of the future truly lies in digitization of all the healthcare services, not only the healthcare services, in all facets of the human activity, economic activities. The one thing which is going to be permanent and which is going to revolutionize the entire sphere of activity is the digitization. And when you talk of digitization, then also come the topic of inherent risks of how do we manage the emerging risks. So against this backdrop, today we'll be discussing how do we manage risks in the age of AI and IoT. And the topic of this webinar is Emerging Technologies in Healthcare, brought to you by Elets Technomedia in partnership with Dell Healthcare. We have a very eminent expert of panels from the industry here. Joining me is Manish Kishore, Global Head of IT in Walkhart Limited. A very warm welcome, Manish.
Hi, good morning.
Is heading global operations for Walkhart's technology initiatives. He is handling a large portfolio of digital health, including setting up of Center of Excellence for IT operations, SAP, analytics, startup innovation, GXP, and manufacturing excellence. He provides leadership to the global technology team across verticals of infrastructure, cybersecurity, enterprise applications, data center, IT quality, and compliance. Very warm welcome once again, Manish Kishore.
Thank you.
Joining Manish is another expert from the industry, the Chief Technology Officer of Arvind Medical Research Foundation, Srini Vasilu Thayam. Srini comes with more than 27 years of global diversified experience in product engineering, product development and assurance, business unit development, and strategic management. Srini has a rich experience of delivery, program and practice management, test automation tools, non-functional testing, change controls, account management, transformation and transition management, scaling high-performing organizations, maximizing revenue and growth through client satisfaction and disciplined leadership. A very warm welcome to this panel discussion, Srini.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this panel discussion would be moderated by none other than Sugumar Umapati. He is enterprise architect and field CTO, healthcare and life sciences India in Dell Technologies. A brief introduction of Sugumar. Sugumar serves as the enterprise architect and field CTO, Chief Technology Officer at Dell Technologies. In this role, Sugumar focuses on solving business intelligence, business challenges, and enables customers in their digital transformation journey. Warm welcome, Sugumar.
Thank you, Mr.
Let me
Krishna.
also inform here all those who have joined us online that very shortly we'll be joined by Subarao Pandit Palarupu, Deputy GM IT in Biological E Limited, as well as Dr. Sushil Kumar Meher, Head of IT in AIMS, New Delhi. This program will be moderated by Sugumar Umapati from Dell Healthcare. Without taking much of the time, I hand over the proceedings to Sugumar. Thank you, Sugumar.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. And warm welcome to everyone. Mr. Manish and Mr. Srini, thank you for your time today. And with that, let's kickstart our discussion. And I know it's a very relevant topic today. Technology is I would say, the most important aspect for all of the service industry today, and healthcare being something that would be the major beneficiary from technology. And we have all seen in the last couple of years with unfortunate situations of COVID, we have relied so much on technology to provide care, to extend the services that we can offer, and we have also been using technology in a much more evolved way. So, with that, let me ask my first question from the uh, for the panel today. What are some of the emerging technologies that you're seeing in the industry today that where healthcare would benefit from, and how can we use that to increase the efficiency of our service delivery, and how do we ensure that we make best use of this technology to provide some of the services that we want to do? Maybe we'll start with Mr. Manish. What are your opinions, and where do you see use of these technologies? And if you have done something in your organization, it will be great to hear from you.
Thank you, Sukumar. Yeah, so I think technologies would evolve over a period of time, and it has been evolving over 30 years. And the idea is to have better healthcare, better transparency to the patients, and overall the healthcare delivery system should improve. India has, I think, emerged in last 2 3 years after COVID pandemic that has grown multiple folds. So, in terms of transparency to patients, I think that is where it began. We have not been be able to access our medical records. I think there is a EMR which is coming up fast. Second thing is, I think, interoperability, which is coming. But at the same time, along with interoperability, there is a data privacy risk. I think where the emerging technologies would come, will shape up is the blockchain, which will come and sit on top of it with securing the data with us. I think that is one. AI and ML is another area where we are doing a lot of work in research, clinical trials, and juggling all the data across to make sure that we have faster cycles around. In terms of manufacturing, I think we are looking at a lot of analytics over top of manufacturing, making sure that the yield improvement, batch reduction is less. I think that are the areas which we are looking at. But how does it affect the healthcare? I think that is very important. Is so we have seen the vaccine has come in a year's time to the market. Now, any medicine which comes, it takes a decade to come otherwise. Now, how do we ensure that? It can only be ensured by adopting a lot of technologies, making sure that we have technologies like digital twins in place, and any data which is coming, it is being run through the large big data and AI on top of it, so that we don't risk the patients across. I think these are the few areas which help. In terms of clinical trials, I think a lot of adoption about wearables and implanted wearable devices which has come. I think that would be focused across.
Of course, that's a great point. In fact, the advent of smart bands and smart watches. I know nobody today. You can't find anybody without a smartwatch today. Most people track their vitals, the minimum part of it at least, with the smart bands, and great points in terms of digital twin and the clinical trial part of it, which has definitely helped secure the vaccination that we all had to go through with the COVID. Great points. We'll next hear from Mr. Srini. What are your thoughts on this? Where do you see uh, from the emerging technologies point of view? How do you see Arvind being a large uh, ophthalmologist solutions that we offer around eye care solutions? Where do you see technology? And if it is something that you have implemented in your industry, in your organization, would be great to hear from you.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for giving this opportunity to speak about it. I think you're touching the right discussion at the right time. Yeah, so in fact, you all know Aravind is world's largest eye hospital. Okay, I hope you guys are aware of it. Okay, we are world's largest eye hospital, and we serve 20,000 patients per day Okay, so 20,000 patients per day. And again, if you see the Arvind model, Arvind mission is like, uh, high volume, high quality, affordable cost. So we see everything is at a affordable cost. So that means, you know, if even if you visit our Arvind, it's like it's a non-profit organization first of all, and 50% of the people get a free service, completely free. I mean, or heavy subsidized cost. Only 50% is a paid again. Again, if you see very competitive, see the way we look at things in particularly in Arvind, any technology, okay, any technology modernization, anything technology, what is it is going to benefit for a patient care and patient safety, and how you can make it as affordable to a common man. Okay, that's in our egos, that's in our culture actually. See, that's why. But having said all these things, if you see the Aravind, like from the technology perspective, we are always edge of the curve. Okay, so people are talking about EMR these days, and we have developed our own EMR 7 years back, 8 years back. We have developed our own EMR, homegrown EMR, 8 years back. Okay, so and now also what we do, it is not that our values, we always wanted to share the best practices to others. So what we do, we share this EMR, some of the emerging countries, and kind of countries like in Africa and Southeast Asia. So we share. There is something called Arvind model. Is something you would have. I don't know whether you heard about it. There is a case study in Harvard, all those things. So how replicate this Arvind model in developing countries? So institutes like WHO, they take our support and implement this in developing countries. Okay. So now coming back to technology, and you'll be surprised. We started using Wi-Fi early 80s, before Wi-Fi introduced in India. So the universities from Berkeley, they came and set up, the Wi-Fi setup from Madurai to Theni, So that's a simple one example how we are always use our technology to reach out unreachable people actually. Okay, because so if you see, the way we have a vision center. Vision centers is like a primary health centers, where these centers are nook and corners of village where people don't have a facility to reach out to the city. Okay, so we go there and we do the service for unreachable people actually, and this is possible only through the technology. So we have been using teleconsultancy much before COVID. Okay, so much before COVID. So that's why it became easy for us during the COVID time, actually. So, and we use a complete teleconsultancy and to screen our patients. Where particularly use typical cataract happens after 60 years, so people, the senior citizens may not be able to kind of come to city, traveling and all those things. So that's the reason kind of we have set up our chief vision this 40-50 years back actually. Okay, so this pure technology is involved in that actually. And apart from that, there is something on the AI perspective. Okay, so we do a lot of work on the AI. Okay, because we have a lot of data. Just imagine we do 20,000 patients per day, the amount of data what we hold actually. So with the data, again, the purpose is to address today, diabetic is something quite common. It's like 1 out of 5 people have got diabetic. And imagine, in India, 1.35 billion population, you would, 20% is nothing but at least 30 to 40 million people are affected to the diabetic. To screen so much of population, how many doctors you need? It is going to be impractical. Okay, so that's where we use AI. Okay, so kind of detect how diabetic, particularly people villages, they don't know whether they are affected with the diabetic or not. What happens most of the times, they come to us, when vision is completely affected, because the defect is related to the vision. So when we see it is almost the last stage, they lose their vision actually. So that's where we work with companies like Google and and we have probably we'll speak later on this. So we use AI. We started using AI almost 4 years back. Okay, so working with the big people like Google and all, and of course we are in now we want to focus more on the IoT, particularly. In fact, we worked with the Dell like to design our own IoT devices, because the kind of volume the patients, if you see in the particularly the morning hours, we have to see 2000 3000 people at a time actually. So imagine to take readings of these people, like whether it's a BP or sugar, it is going to be impractical, to take a readings and put it in EMR. It is going to be impractical. So that's where we need to kind of how we can replace this with an IoT device, this thing. So these are all the things. So coming back, like to summarize, the technology is inevitable, for addressing the patient care and patient safety more than anything else. So that's where I wanted to conclude here.
Thank you,
Definitely, sir.
Srini. Sukumar, I will just interrupt here. Ladies and gentlemen who have joined this program online, let me just introduce here our next panelist, Dr. Sushil Kumar Meher, Head of IT in AIMS, New Delhi. A very warm welcome, Dr. Sushil Meher.
Thank you and good morning. I'm sorry for the late joining. Yeah.
Let me also inform Dr. Sushil Meher that we have been joined here by panelists from Work Hard, from Arvind Medical Research Foundation, and of course, our industry partner, Dell Technologies. We have Manish Kishore with us, Global Head of IT in Work Hard Limited, Srinivasalu Thayam, CTO in Arvind Medical Research Foundation, and this program is being moderated by Sugumar Umapati, Enterprise Architect and Field CTO, Healthcare and Life Sciences in Dell Technologies. We are discussing the emerging technologies in healthcare and how do we manage risk in the age of AI and IoT. So over to you, Sugumar. So sorry for the
Thank you, Mr.
interruption.
Krishna. No, perfectly
Sorry,
fine.
Krishna,
And
just a small correction. It's not Arvind Medical Research, it's Arvind Eye Care Systems.
I stand corrected, Arvind Eye Care Systems.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
welcome, Dr. Sushil. Good to see you, and wonderful to have you. So in this panel, and
Yes.
before I come to you, just wanted to summarize what Mr. Srini was highlighting. Technology definitely is a key pillar, and I mean it's really nice to know Arvind I has been pioneers in this space, and you've been trying new technologies, and of course serving 20,000 people. I have personally been involved in some of them. I come from Tamil Nadu as well, so I have come across many of those vision centers that you have set up, and I know how beneficial it is. So I really appreciate the efforts that are going in.
Thank you.
And technology certainly is something that would help expand and go further than that. Thank you for that. And Dr. Sushil, from AIMS, so we all know how big AIMS is and how important the contribution of AIMS in the overall healthcare part of it from a country point of view. So incidentally, we have been associated as Dell Technologies with AIMS as well as the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare from a non-communicable diseases point of view. And diabetes is one of the areas that Dr. Mr. Srini was touching upon. So we are also a part of that program, along with even Dr. Sushil is a part of that particular program, where we are doing the one is from an enumeration point of view, second is from the early detection and diagnosis point of view from an five of the common NCDs. With that, let me ask Dr. Sushil, where do you see the emerging technologies in this field of healthcare, and how do you see that uses of that? We are obviously directly some of the users of that, but would like to hear from you your perspectives and how AIMS is using such emerging technologies to better serve the patients.
The objective of the AIMS functioning is that first is the research, then education, third one is the healthcare. So you need a hospitals because you need research. That's why it is a referral hospital. but now it is allowed to everyone to be come to the aims to get the treatment. Talk about the technology, what I'm talking about it. See, since aims, when it has been established, people have started using paper tap as a storage. So you imagine that many people may not have heard or may not have seen physically the what is the paper tap, how it is function. But right now we have supercomputer in our premises. This is the journey, what I'm saying. But real journey has started in 1988 that AIMS has to be going to be computerized. There is no digitization term at that time. Okay. At that times, many people they have thought why did a computerizations here, and you have to spend a lot of money because you do not have infrastructure at that time in place. It was not available in India. The first mainframe, which has come in 1988, landed in AIMS, and we are the second user of Oracle database in the country. It was marketing by the TCS at the time, and Oracle office was not here. But we have tried our level best, but the difficulty it was that the culture was not there. People need a lot of trainings to use the systems. And you know it in healthcare service because we have a multi-specialty and residents are moving from one specialty to other specialty in very frequently to tap them, then they have to train them all these things. It was a difficult task for us to implement everything in place. And at that times, what it happens, you need a big database, and that Oracle also unable to handle it. And sometimes the system get hangs. They again we talk to the Oracle people, they send another patches and all these things, but it has not solved our purpose because the requirement is so huge, and we have spent, we see at that time we have purchased the mainframe. It is about to be 2 crores rupees in 1988. 2 crores is huge amount, and total project was around 4.5 crores at that time. And but that is a very one of the learning opportunity to got it that we have a system. And but people do not understand if you do the computerization, what is the advantage? Okay, they feel that it is a luxury, not it is suitable for them, and it is a headache for the users to use the system. Then we have discarded all the mainframes, all these things. Then you have come to the GIO based applications, that is two-level architecture, that is client and server architectures. Then again we have come to three-level architectures. But right now, what we have, the latest technology, what is going on, everything are in place. Okay. Our HIS application is developed by the NIC, and it is the application is customized as per AIMS requirement, and uh, uh, such the functionality is so high that we did not find any other application to have that app, and they have delivered for us. Uh, One thing is that when we'll go for any applications, we think of it, what the technology is there, what is the application supposed to be there, all these things. Everything we have taken care of that. And we have started first in the country that we have a call center for the public hospital in 2011. First time we people have booked their appointments through apps and in our website or in our call centers. First time in the country. Because we get the patient from the Northeast, Bihar, Orissa, UP, and then Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Punjab. Because North India is not that much of developed at that time to come up with good specialized hospitals. Now it is coming up. The Max, the other private hospital has come up. So we thought the demand of registration per day in our campus, it is 12,000 patients a day, and you know it in single locations. 12,000 patients means we have 40,000 people on one place, because our society system is as such that anybody is felt sick, definitely his relative, father, or brother, sister, or somebody else from the near to him, they accompanying that. So making this place, and when the how much you what we have studied, our demand is around 45,000 per day, and we are giving the 12,000 per day. When demand and supply do not match, definitely the chaos will come up. People started gathering one place. They want some people, they have started gathering from midnight to get the registration card. So initially we have what we have done. If we do computerizations, that transparency will come up. Okay, and we have started full online appointment systems, but does not work because people have done registration. They do not turn up because it is free, and free has no value for them. Definitely, I will tell it in that way. Yeah. Then we have made a plan, and we have got the data, and all the data we have taken it, we have analyzed it. Then we have found that only 30% to be we're supposed to do for the online registrations. Next 30% they have to come physical and take the advance coupon for the registrations. Next 30% is for uh, those who are revisit, and next 10% is that others, your own employees, your relatives, and all these things we have given kept it and all these things. So in this way, you have started and it has worked perfectly. But what I mean to say, technology when you have been up, it has given us a transparency for the registration. Many people they say, if you do not know the people from AIMS, you can't do registrations. So that voice has gone. What we are
That's
right
wonderful to
now,
know.
okay, because if you tell all the things, it will take a day for me. But I don't want to go right now. What is in place and what we have. Uh, if we talk about most of the technology we have, what is today's industry they are using it. Okay, first of all, if we talk about the registration process, uh, one person will come up and he has the mobile and we are giving the internet to them. Okay, our infrastructure, what I'm talking about, around 18,000 nodes we have around the campus, and we have the fully Wi-Fi, the registrations and the patient area. They can use internet from their mobile for in limited manner. Limited manner means all the site cannot be opened, the WhatsApp, then they have to upload their all the reports if they have done the test here, that is possible. Okay, so when the patient will come up, we have a QR code, standard QR code. They scan it, and they can do their registrations. If you do not have do not have the uh, mm, uh, AVA number. AVA number, you know it, everybody. Okay, so health ID, AVA health ID. Then automatically it will the health ID will be created. It will authenticate from their Aadhaar card, from Aadhaar, and it will be registered in our systems. It is totally
Understood.
seamless. Just you have to scan it and do step-by-step process which it will ask you. So this is
Wonderful,
the
sir.
one of the unique things what we have done it after COVID. Okay. Now the COVID had taught a lot of things lesson to us, and the culture has been changed because in 1999 we have started teleconsultation. The first project of government of India pilot project. It has started in five hospitals. That is AIMS, PGI Chandigarh, Sanjay Gandhi Lucknow, Jipmer, and Apollo. Okay, this first project we have started through satellite. Okay, later it has been now we are doing the through internet networking.
Wonderful, sir.
So
I
at that
think
time,
that way, I certainly feel some of the initiatives that you have done in the past definitely have been helping, especially from a technology use case point of view. We'll come to that in a bit more, because there are further questions that we will
Yeah, yeah,
discuss
yeah,
about
yeah,
those as well. Because in the interest of time, actually, so it's wonderful
yeah,
to
yeah,
hear
yeah,
these use cases.
what the technology, what I'm talking about. And now, give me 2 minutes for the technology. My most of the lab equipment is connected with IoT device. Okay, all the IoT device means, you know it, when you make an interface with the any lab equipments, you need a small servers to interface it and data exchange it. So we have almost 50% has been replaced that system to a IoT device. And IoT device, it has been designed in such a way, the batteries inside, if light will go up also, it will not hamper because it takes less power consumptions. So this is the one of the achievement. Another one is that the whole lab is fully automated. The pre-analytic, analytic, and post-analytic is totally automated. This is the first two labs we have set up here, which do the test per hour. It is around 12,000 tests per hours.
Wow.
And around the clock, it is running. Uh, so it, from the pneumatic tubes, it will goes to the pre-analytic areas. It will test it whether the sample is adequate or not, or it has to be discarded. From automatically, it will be done. It will go through the conveyor belt, good, and the robotic hand pick up each samples, put in the particular test equipments, test it, then reports will come up, and the analytic program is there, whether it is required authorization or not. If it's not required authorizations, if the formula is fitted, automatically push the result to the main database. Otherwise, it will keep for the doctors to resend the things. So this is the one achievement we have done it. Third thing is
Certainly.
that the registration process we have make smooth line. We can choose either virtual or physical. Earlier it was
Certainly.
not. And all the
Certainly.
reports which is done here, the patient can download from their mobiles, if that mobile is used by the patient which is in the registrations. These are the
Understood.
basic technology. And for the AI, when we are talking about it, we do the research. I have already told you. I have got a project of 4.5 crores from the Ministry of IT. The detection detection of the early detection of the breast cancer and ovarian cancers, and their treatment line of the treatment plan. So it is in the final stage. Another one is the one of the big projects in the country. I mean, government of India also looking towards it. That many migrants, they come to Delhi and got accident, and their body nobody's claim it. So we put all the unidentified body. We take their DNA samples, we preserve it, whatever condition it will get the body, whether it's semi-decomposed or fully decomposed or whole body. We take the photographs, and there is a website. It's called Umid. Umid. Okay, we put it there. And somebody will claim. Then he comes and we check their DNA, and he will match it through AI tools. If we will match, we will tell that this is the a person who has died on this. So many projects in AI projects is going on. But in the service area, yet we have not used it. When the things will be online, we'll use it, because AI has not matured yet,
I
fully not
understand.
matured. Yeah, all the
True,
models.
true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
great point. In fact, that leads to the next question that I have as well, because all of these emerging technologies, like for example AI, while it brings in a lot of new use cases, a lot of advantages and things like that, there are potential risks as well that are associated with it. Maybe I just want to ask Mr. Manish. I know you have a hard stop in the next couple of minutes. I just wanted to take your opinion on what are the possible challenges that we are associated with AI, and what could we as healthcare providers do to sort of alleviate those situations, and how can we better use AI to the betterment of it? Maybe Mr. Manish, if you can throw some light on that.
Sure, Sukumar. I think very nice insights, Dr. Sushil and Shini. I think that was very, very important and relevant to the larger base of citizens. I think that's very important. And but see, I think what Dr. Sushil was saying is any technology which we develop, especially AI, we need to be very responsible, and it has to be ethical in nature. And the patient privacy is protected at all the times. That's the highest risk which we take. So, in few years back, when we were talking about encryption, so 256 SHA and all were secure. Now, today, after quantum computing, what is secure? We don't even know. So how do we take that into? Apart from that, the whole infra that we live in, and like Dr. Sushil was saying, their access is given to a lot of patients through the ABHA Health ID. The QR code itself is a cyber risk which might come in coming days. We cannot secure that plate. If somebody replaces that QR plate, how do we secure that? I think that is one question that we have to look at in terms of authentication. So, like Dr. Sushil was saying, it is authenticated through HABA number. So he has secured that piece. So how do we look at those angles where we do risk assessment of all the areas apart from the access control? How do we look at data anonymization of all the patients? How do we look at the audit trails of our systems? Either it is a Wi-Fi connect, or is it a ERP system, or we are looking at a lot of standards. I think we should also look at the development of standards all across the industry and involve actively in collaboration as a collaborator with all those standards, which can be used by all these innovators. So there are hundreds of startups which has come in AI, which are looking at technologies from invasive to non-invasive. So like I was talking some time back, how do we look at the handheld, the wearables and the handheld devices which are given? So a lot of data is being collected across there. Now, I think the first risk that we should look at is it passing on the patient information or anonymized information? When they are doing a predictive analysis and passing on to the patient. And today, I think 99% of the patients give consent without reading those terms across anything. I think that is important, where we should educate the patients and tell them this is how we are going to identify the gaps in your disease, or we are going to monitor your health. So I think the biggest thing that we do is a steps count. It takes readings of your heart. It takes what is your BP. I think those things. In fact, I was talking to one of the startups where he just doing a face scan. He can read what is your pulse rate, what is your HB1AC, and all those parameters. So we are enabling the patient to take charge of their own health. And there is another risk that through Chat GPT or Google, they do search what medicine I should take, and without being asking the doctor, they start taking it. And there the problem starts is we have resistance from the antibiotics and all those areas. And when they're towards the fag end of that disease being spread across, they come to the doctor. Now, what should I do? That is another aspect which we should be looking at. Although the predictive analysis where the data is being collected and the health outcomes are being given to the patient, I think the conditions has to be very, very moderated when we say AI. So I know there are a lot of startups who are in touch with a lot of doctors who are moderating it and giving a citizen app to them. So that is very important. And I think another area which can help guide the patient is AR/VR, where we can have the journey or impact which we are using it from the televisions or radios earlier. I think the marketing, the gimmicks have changed. Now people are more on the laptops and mobiles, and they're adopting the technology. If we can show that risk of taking any medicines, or so let's say today we are selling medicines and there is a big brochure which is being sent to the patient. They doesn't read it. What? So we should look at how do we modernize that, where the patient is being told this is the risk that you are taking. If there is an adverse event, this is how you have to report. I think 90% of the people don't know how to report the adverse events across. I think that is
Correct.
another area which I want to focus on. And I think telemedicines, which Sriniji has already touched upon, I think a lot of advancement has come in terms of telesurgeries and the robotics also, and the expansion has been enormous across. Now, how do we record them into Abha? I think that is where the doctors can read the history of all the patients. That is where the interoperability of MDDS, which has been set by India for the metadata and data standards, which has HL7, DICOMs, and all those areas combined together, which NHA is also being using across to implement. I think that is where we will reach a stage where we have the history of the patient all across.
Wonderful insights. In fact, responsibility and transparency are two key words that you used, and we all know Google is the biggest doctor that we all hear, right? For anything and everything, we go search in Google. So things have to change. It is not just one way. It has to come from uh, the patients as well as from the medical fraternity as well. And thank you for the lot of insights on that, Mr. Manish. In case if you have to leave, please feel free to. But we will continue the discussion with Mr. Srini and Dr. Sushil. Mr. Srini, you did mention about using AI already in your organization. So, what are some of the challenges that you see, and do you concur with what Mr. Manish told? And how do we sort of align to that in terms of how do we fix this?
So, we went through, I mean, it was not a kind of quickly decided. Okay, so we went through various iterations. In fact, we have been doing this in AI implementation almost 3 years. We have collected the data, we went through the data. Initially, the accuracy was close to 60 percentage. And then again, we kind of started collecting more data and train and built algorithms. Then we came around 85%. Then still we didn't complete. Then again we did another iteration. So then we when we realized kind of a 95 percentage, okay, the accuracy. Then what we did a parallel. Okay, so we whatever the doctor does the clinical investigation, we compared with that actually. Okay, so it went like in a parallel, exercise. So then we realized it's on par with doctor's investigation and more with more accuracy. Then
Wow.
we decided to implement actually. So even now, what we do a sampling, every kind of a 1,000 patients. We do the sampling actually to ensure is it on par with this actually. So, I mean, it's end of the day, the patients trust us, and we need to ensure that the trust is being, and they don't know anything about this technology, security, anything. They trust us simply. So we
Of
even
course.
for the
Yeah.
data security, they don't know anything, and we take a consent from them. Like we are going to. So it is our responsibility to ensure the patient is protected here. So that's a way we build our ecosystem, everything. Again, any technology change that will have it will have its own challenges, but we have to progress out of it actually. So with a more cautious approach, more review approach. So particularly being such a big hospital for us, huge volume. So we need to kind of ensure that regular monitoring, regular auditing, it takes place actually. So that's the way we handle this.
In fact, collecting only what is relevant and not more than that also is one of the steps I have heard a lot of hospitals talk about. Because when we look for data collection, generally we tend to collect more than what we need as well sometimes, and protecting that, safeguarding that against access and stuff like that becomes quite challenging. So,
Yes.
in fact, keeping a governance model in place so that you have periodic checks, ensuring that the data is used the right hands, etc. Certainly, very valid points. Dr. Sushil, if you have any thoughts on the risks of AI per se, if you can touch upon that quickly, that would help us.
Yeah, the good news for us is that government of India recently he has declared that a Center for Excellency in AI will be the AIMS, New Delhi. So this is one of the things.
Right.
Just few days back, the guideline for ethical issue using AI It has been published by the ICMR. If you might have seen the draft documents, which has been public, it has been public for the opinions. After getting the opinions, they have the drafted, and finally it has been approved, and it is in the public domain now. So what is the ethical issue? Basically, the major problem is the ethical issue in the AI when you are using the patient data. Third thing is that what we are looking towards it, the future of the healthcare. We are working this area because it is a the research institutes. We work on 4P. Okay, the 4P means predictive, preventive, personalized, and participatory. So this 4P, it will work on whether your genomic personalized healthcare systems it comes for. So what it happens when we are talking about the data, and data is main things in the healthcare services. The data quality and how data is meaningful. These are the things we have to take care of that. See, I'm giving one example, the back history of this standards. 2005, the first committee has set up by the Ministry of IT to have a standards in India in healthcare. And it has given this project to Apollo New Delhi, and they have submitted a one standards. Okay, that standards it is probably very basic. Then they thought 2009 that we're supposed to have each Indian citizen supposed to have a single medical records. Then they have come up with the EMR standard by the Ministry of Health, not Ministry of IT. Okay, and that was also not sufficient. Then 2011 again second draft has come up. Even 2014 it has come up, and then there's two documents where it was there, EMR standards. Another one is the MDDS. Okay, so these two documents, it's a beautiful documents, and government already been notified that each and every hospitals they're supposed to follow the standards. When we are talking about the data, people sir use the standards means ICD codes. It is not only the ICD codes. You should supposed to have a clinical codes also, and that's why you have to use the SNOMED CT across your clinical environment. Many people they do not use it because they are not properly trained. For training purpose, Government of India has authorized CDEC to give the training free of cost. If required any workshop to be done, any one of the hospital, they may be invited, and freely they will conduct the workshop there. Okay. So for this, we have initiated that one is the clinical codes, one is the disease code. Another one, we want to start that. Why not be the drugs, medicines? And we have started a pilot project. Government of India had advertised the essential drugs. It is 380 medicines. We have made it Indian standard SNOMED CT coding. It is in the public domains. CDEC and AIMS, we have collaborated, and I was the nodal person for that project, and we have done that one. So that what it happens, the symptom, the clinical symptoms, okay, then synonyms of the clinical symptoms, all are in digital forms. It is working back up the side of the doctor. Doctor has to choose the things, not the number, I mean the code. The code in the background, it is working. So when it is digital, means international levelly, this is compatible, and it is more higher accuracy of your data when you go for any designing a model of AI. What is the problem in the AI? I'm talking about it because I'm working 3 projects in the AI. The first project, what I have told you, it is before COVID I have got it. That is early detection of the breast cancer and ovarian cancers, predictions, and the treatment planning. I have the data, but the data is not properly codified uniformly, because some doctors using one nomenclature, to some other doctor is using other nomenclature. and it is difficult for us to find out, because again doctor has to see it, then he has to put it in the systems, otherwise it's not possible. That's why it has taken a lot of time. COVID has also so it does not allow us to move around to get the physical records, electronic records, because some of the records are in the physical form also. So these sort of things, when you will use AI, the standard of the clinical standards supposed to be followed properly, so that your accuracy will go up. Third one is the ethical clearance. In the it is everywhere, but in AIMS it is they are very strict to the ethical clearance. When you will use any patient data, you have to convince them that this is within the guideline of ethical committee. So it will pass through the ethical committees, then it has to be used the medical records. So we have used, and I'm just means patient registration in the hash code. You have not used the means phone numbers and their address, but use the location. You have to use the location, otherwise it is because you have to make a model for the Indian data, so you have to that. And third one is that many images are, it is in the digital form as well as in the films. So you have to convert that one, so annotate that one, then you're also labeling that one. It is a very, very tedious job. If it is the image is fully digital and it is in the PAC systems, it will in place. So it will much more easier for us to make this project more smoothly. So the challenges is there, and these challenges, see in this project, one of the eminent AI in healthcare, Dr. Jackley, is involved. One person from the MIT USA, they are also involved as an advisor. So that's why, and this issue has raised by them also. They are facing the same problems. It is not in India. They are also facing the same problems there.
Of course. Yeah. This is
It's a common
universal.
problem to everybody. Yeah.
This is universal.
So my suggestion is that anybody who has to do it. Recently, I reviewed a project that oral cancer. It is a very big project. It is funded by the ICMR, not to AIMS. Okay. That how to detect early your cancer, oral cancer. Yeah. So they have taken the saliva of the locations. They have to test it. Another one, they have to take the photographs. Okay, and they have to simulate with two data, and they can predict it. Okay. Another project which is coming up, that many rural area, ovarian cancer is very high, and when they come to the hospital, it is not possible.
Already
to treat
late.
it. Yeah, it is
Already late.
Already late.
Yeah. Early diagnosis is extremely important.
Yeah. So one project, it is also already been started. It is going on, that they have developed a pencil. In the pencil, there is a small cameras. Okay. And from the camera, it is attached to the small memory in that pencil. Okay. And ASA worker, they'll go to the different village. Okay. Those who are 50 plus or something, so they have to take the whole history. If you have some abnormality, in that cases, they will ask them to do this test. If they agree, they take the photographs and come with that, all the 4 or 5 whatever cases is there, put in the mobile. It will upload in the mobile. From the mobiles, there is a lightweighted AI prediction tools is there. So it will distinguish. It is a possibility of melanous tumor is there. So in that cases, it will send to the cloud. They have their own cloud storage. From there, again, it will be processed and it will be it is suspected cases, and the patient has to move to the primary healthcare.
Yeah.
So this is also one of the things. It is largely coming up, and government is looking towards it.
Wonderful discussion. In fact, this is AI in itself, if you look at, is is tremendous. And in fact, you sort of answered my other question that I had in terms of what should the regulatory bodies do in terms of defining the way of using AI. This wonderful conversation. I know we are running out of time. I just one closing thoughts from both Mr. Srini as well as Dr. Sushil. What is the future of technology, and how do we think maybe a couple of technologies that you can take 2 minutes to sort of say what is the future of technology in healthcare, and what are your thoughts around that? Closing thoughts, please. Mr. Srini, if you can go
Okay,
first.
okay, sure. So thank you, doctor, for sharing your all your experiences. Really impressive. Okay, and in fact, in our we work very closely with the CDAC to implement the SNOMED. Because we wanted to standardize our EMR, own EMR, and we have been working with them. In fact, actually, so. And okay, coming back to your question, Mr. Sugmar. See, our roadmap is today, 3% of the people is going through our Aravind Eye Care platform. Okay, 3% are our contribution in if you take the entire world. Okay, including because we also work with the other partner hospitals in African country and Southeast Asia. So we wanted to, from 3% to 10% in the next 5 years time. Okay,
Wow,
so we want
that's
this
three times, more than three times that you're looking at.
yeah, through our Arvind digital platform. To do that, we need to do two things. One is our app modernization, because today we are the first people to take everything in the cloud. Okay, yeah. Typically in healthcare, a bit conservative to move towards the cloud, because imagine kind of a security what we have built to take this decision. So we wanted to modernize the ecosystem. That's the one thing. And we wanted to make our EMR as a clinical support, the clinical data support system. Clinical, that's called CDSS, clinical data support system. So your data would decide about
Decision
the
support
patient.
system. Yep.
Yes. So because the doctor cannot go through the entire patient history, it is going to take time, particularly hospitals like in a huge volume. So you are more on the AI part will do the entire analysis, provide the conclusion, and the doctor will see the patient in person and look into the past and the current, provide the right patient care. So the way we wanted to move towards CDSS, clinical data support system, the EMR actually. So, and using the AI and IoT in the whole thing actually. So that's a way, our roadmap is going to be.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think that's the way to, especially when you want to scale three to four times the current whatever you're doing currently to in the next couple of years. If you want to grow there, I'm sure you need to use leverage. And we all know more than 60-70% of the patients that you look through would be normal or do not have uh, any specific condition. So a doctor need not spend his time on those patients. That way you can save their time, and you're also saving uh, them from becoming fatigue and whatnot, right? So they can do better job at what they're doing. Wonderful.
Most
And
most importantly, sorry to interrupt. Most importantly, for us, we call it as episode. That means when you report an issue, how many trips it takes to address the issue for the patient. So it's
yeah,
called patient. So we wanted to
that's
reduce that, because for us, the patient is coming, the attender also coming, the two people, they need to travel in the public, plus that's the cost, wages for those two people, and we factor all those things. It is not the consultation fee alone, the whole expenses to the patient. If we need to make that as an affordable. Yeah.
That's a great example of how you look at patient care holistically, not just as episode, right? So you're looking at
Yeah.
the impact of the wages, because most of the people that you're talking about are depending on that wages that they earn that day. If they're not getting along with the couple of supporting people, that's the livelihood of the patient, and their entire family is also impacted.
Yeah,
Wonderful
because
to
they
know
pay
that.
only 100 rupees for us. That's not a big thing. But the wages are
The
300,
loss
400
for them
rupees.
is much more. Yeah,
Yeah.
loss for them is much more.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I understand. I understand that. Dr. Sushil, your final thoughts on terms of what are some of the future A couple
Yeah,
of
yeah.
future technologies.
Yeah, see, if you go to the Google, you'll get a lot of things in here. But what is the reality? You have to look into it. Okay, everything is possible. Right now, technology is not an issue. Issue is that how it will be used, it, how much it has to be used it as per regulatory board. So that has to be looked into it. So earlier telemedicine was not being forced to use it. Right now, the regulatory guideline has come up, so people started using it. Definitely, what Srinivasan has spoken, that virtual consultation is required to reduce the visit, because our patients are coming from the northeast, Bihar, Assam, then your Orissa, and all these things. See, if somebody has the history of the records in AIMS, for the follow-up, if it is possible, they can take an appointment virtually and send his reports, which is required to be tested, and upload it, and doctor give the consultation. That visit will go down. Definitely, those who are traveling from the Bihar or Orissa, the cost of the travel as well as stay in the Delhi, it is very expensive. So that cost will go down. And the second thing is that we have a very critical application, critical diseases are there. It is undiagnosable. So right now, that with the technology, different institutions, they can have a case studies and take a decision that what to do for these patients. This is very old fashioned as well, but today it is very common because it is very easy to accessibility, because the internet is there, you are connected, and you can have it, fix the time and discuss the issue. This is not only for the doctors. The doctors working under them, the junior resident, senior resident, they will sit also, they will learn also. This is the learning process also, that this type of critical patient can be treated in this way. Different views are coming in different hospitals, and they are taking a one decision that what to do. And what is the outcome also, it is again be recorded and it will be shared with them, so that they will know that this is the evidence that this kind of disease, this can be treated in this way. Third thing is that the future is there, definitely I will tell, that is the biopatches. Okay, already people have the wristband, headbands, okay, and biopatches. In futures, we are looking towards it, and very large it will come up. Third thing is it will come up, that is the 3D printings. 3D printings in the healthcare, it is really a revolutionary for the doctors. They can visualize what is the disease and what is the condition of the organs, the current state. Fourth one, it is there, that there will be definitely lightweighted AI. It will be available, well tested. What Niswasley is saying, that if you have a any where in your body, whether wristband or all these things, it is connected to your mobiles and the apps is working. So they may also give a initial all these things. But using out Chat GTP, I have used it. Right now, it is not matured. Those who are using it is very bad. I have used for the presentations. It has gone bad, which I have seen. I am unable to present it. We have done some of the use cases of the disease that is also not given perfectly. So people are overconfident on this. It is not good. And third thing is that definitely cyber security is the plays a major role for us. So everybody using up, always I'll tell one thing, over using of digitization is also not good. Okay. In one conference in the US, I was attended at that time, one keynote speaker has spoken, whatever will do, the virtual consultations, when will not touch to the patient, will not feel that, and will not confident that we
Yeah.
can treat what we want. So you have to balance it both the way. Technology is not issue. Already I've told you all these things is in place, but you have to use what time, where, and when, and what way, and follow the regulatory boards also.
Wonderful
This is the.
summary. In fact, technology is definitely not a limitation. Technology
Mhm.
keeps growing. How you use it in the best possible way, I think that's a great point. People also have to be and the process also have to be accordingly mended to make best use of technology without getting into the risks part of it. Wonderful summary and wonderful having you, Mr. Srini, as well as Dr. Sushil, and also Mr. Manish. So thank you a lot for this time, and I hope the participants have learned a few. And if there are further questions or anything, we would certainly reach out to you. Maybe we can have this discussion further. So thank you so much for your time. I will now pass it on to Krishna for any closing comments.
So great discussion, great moderation, Sukumar. You connected the session quite well. Really deep insights from Dr. Sushil Kumar Meher from AIMS Delhi and Srini Thayam from Urban Eye Care System. We discussed what are the current trends and technologies in the healthcare system. We discussed the usage of AI and IoT, and we also discussed how do we manage the evolving risks using the same technologies. But truly engaging discussions. I must thank all the speakers here, all the panelists here, starting from Srinivasulu Thayam, Chief Technology Officer in Arvind Eye Care System. And we had with us Head of IT AIMS Delhi, Dr. Sushil Kumar Meher. And we also had with us Manish Kishore, Global Head of IT in Walkart Limited, who I believe has left because of an important meeting. Last but not the least, our sincere thanks to Sugumar Umapati as well from Dell Technologies, our industry partner, the industry partner which was instrumental in bringing this engaging discussion before the audience today, the role of technologies in healthcare and how do we manage risks using AI and IoT. Thanks, Sugumar, for conducting the session so well. Thank you once again, all the panelists, and thank you all the audience here which have been patiently hearing this engaging discussion. Thank you and
Thank you
bye-bye.
so much. It was
Thank you
a
all.
pleasure
Thank
having
you.
you all. Thank you.
Okay. It's a pleasure for me to meet you all. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all.